everybody, and welcome to Rugby Wrap-Up. I'm Matt McCarthy reporting from Xavier High School in New York City. We're here with Mike Tolkin, the head coach of Team USA's Rugby 15s program. Mike has had a great career here as an English teacher, and he's won national championships on the pitch as both a player and as a coach. Mike, thanks for being here with us.
Always a pleasure to be on the show, Matt.
Coach, up until recently, this has basically been your second home.
Yeah, I'd say rivaled second home, first home at times.
And to say that you're a busy guy would be an understatement of epic proportions. We got a glimpse at your schedule when we came down to Pier 40 to watch your early morning 3-hour practice with Xavier. Later on, you were off to training with the New York Athletic Club, the Super League power. But now all that's changed. Now that you've been named the successor to Eddie O'Sullivan, congratulations on the appointment.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And if I'm not mistaken, you're going to be making your international head coaching debut against a team that you guys often play against, Canada. Is that correct?
That's right.
In June?
June 9th.
Up in Ontario?
Kingston, Ontario.
Kingston, Ontario. How badly are we going to beat those damn Canucks?
I'm not providing any bulletin board material, Matt.
All right, it was worth a shot. I am a journalist, right?
Thank you.
But let's get to the serious questions. The Sevens program. They've undergone a massive change as well. Al Caravelli is out, and Dartmouth's Alex Magleby, he's in. What did you think when you heard the news?
Well, of course, I felt bad for Al. He'd brought the program a long way, and he built it into a professional organization. And the World Cup coming up, and obviously the Olympics. I know he was looking forward to both of those, and it's unfortunate. Certainly, we know it's part of the business. It doesn't make it any easier. In terms of Alex, I've known him for many years. He's done great stuff at Dartmouth, and I'm sure he'll do very well with the Sevens.
And how did you come to know Alex?
Well, when I first started coaching at Nyack, Alex came over and played a little bit, a few summers of Sevens, one Super League season. Also in dealing with Xavier and Dartmouth people in recruitment and things like that, and just over a course of about 10 years.
What position did he play, and was he any good?
Alex was a flanker. He was a back rower. Very talented one at that.
Good to know. Good to know. Now, the Sevens program has money for contracts now from the Olympics, from the USOC for the Brazil Games in 2016. They've got 15 contracts. But basically, the 15s program is still a volunteer program.
Right. It's minimal compensation right now in the 15s program. So right now, the guys who are getting paid are the overseas players playing professionally. While the domestic guys, perhaps their clubs are taking care of them, but for the most part, the domestic guys are working.
You've got players, though, that play both 7s and 15s. How will you and Magleby work that out?
In many Tier 2 nations like ours, we have overlapping player pools. When you get to the Tier 1, the 7s programs are really springboards and to look at guys that move into the program. So we certainly need each other here, and Alex and I will work on that. Luckily, the competitions don't overlap in terms of the IRB circuit, the World Cup. So we've been able to have a peaceful and mutual existence working with each other.
Are you saying that 7s will be a springboard for players that want to play 15s?
Not for Tier 2. For Tier 1 countries, that's kind of how it happens. Certainly it happens a little bit, in our scenario here in the States, where guys will come in, especially if you have athletes, crossover athletes.
Like a Miles Cragwell?
Yep, and that's how Paul Emmerich broke in. Athletes like that, and certainly it happens there. But we don't have basically the exclusive setup of 15s and 7s where they don't really cross over.
So will the 15s program get contracts? Will it be 3 weeks, 15 weeks, 3 years?
I can't say right now. It might be something that Nigel's working on, and at this point we haven't gotten to discussing that. So I couldn't give you a definite number.
Nigel Melville runs USA Rugby. On the pitch, he was as tough as they come. He was a scrum half for England. He was their youngest captain at the time, a regular field general on the pitch. What is his role in player selection?
Nigel's experience, his international experience, as you said, speaks volumes. But at this point, he's not directly involved in selections. So that's me and the coaching staff. But Nigel certainly is a valuable resource to bounce ideas off and a sounding board, and he definitely comes into play, helping that aspect and seeing players and offering some feedback for sure.
Nigel, as we mentioned, is from England, which sets up the brain teaser that will end part one of this interview. You're in England for the Rugby World Cup in 2015. Your team has 2 conversions and 1 penalty kick. How many points does your team have?
17.
17 is the correct answer. That's why you get the big bucks, and your prize is to come back for part 2 of this interview. On that note, on behalf of Coach Mike Tolkin, I'm Matt McCarthy for Rugby Wrap-Up. Please go to rugbywrapup.com for part 2 of this interview. That's it from Xavier High School in New York City.